Rita, how you doing? Lisa, Jerry, Jerry. What's up, Jerry? Chad, how's it going? Kathleen, how you doing? No, Kathleen, don't say that. We're going to talk about that today. You can bet. Horowitz knows what's coming. He just didn't want to be the one to deliver the message to his handlers. I'll give it a couple more seconds here, guys, and then we'll get started. We are going to talk about a lot of that today. We're going to talk about Pfizer. We're going to talk about the Ukraine. We're going to talk about where this is all headed. This doesn't change anything, guys. What happened today it doesn't change a thing. Well, I think Obama appointed Horowitz. Lisa, how you doing? Uh, Here's the key, guys. His words were, he didn't find any testimony or evidence to to for an illegal act. Basically, he didn't say it didn't exist. He just said he didn't see it. He's covering his ass, guys, because he knows what Durham's going to say. He didn't want to put his neck on the chopping block when it's going to come out anyway. He's going to be exposed. It's no big deal what happened today. Trust me. Okay, let's might as well get into this. Paula, hello. Okay, Swampwatch, 12/9/19. So since we're in it, we might as well jump. I was going to go somewhere else first, but I'll come back to that. Horowitz, first of all, it's not like, I know he tried to sugarcoat it, but when you look at it, there was 127, I think, incidents that I think were referred. Horowitz can't arrest anybody anyway. Horowitz can't issue, he can't convene a grand jury. So basically, this was an informational deal. Durham is the one who is right now has grand juries impaneled, and they are returning indictments almost every day. So don't worry about the indictments. This is in no way, it's not like, oh shit, he's been doing this for over a year. It's going to be another year down the road before anything gets done. No. They've got they've got Huber and Durham right now with 560 something prosecutors working. You think they're just playing cards all day? Guys, there are thousands of indictments. Well, we already know there's 100 and something thousand sealed indictments, and they're coming up with more every day. So don't worry about how the mainstream media is playing this up like nothing's there. It's what's coming. And what's coming is still coming soon. No worries. Q. So Q, there's been a lot of talk about Q. You know, you saw, I'm assuming, I think I even posted, you know, there was Jesse Waters had the deal on his show on Fox. There was an article talking about the mob hit, I think in New Jersey, where the guy held up his hands with Q, and they're trying to make it out to be, you know, a crazy Q follower who commits this murder. Q has, we know that has mixed in disinformation. There was at one point, I think over a month ago, Q made a statement that basically, paraphrasing, that Stroke and Page were cooperating witnesses now. So let's think about this for a second. When a prosecutor or a detective is working with a suspect, one of the things they do to get him to turn is to put word out one way or another, either through, you know, informants or in, you know, bringing a guy into the station and then letting him go. So wait a minute, they brought you to the station, but they didn't arrest you. What it does is it gives their cohorts the idea that, well, if they are working with him, then what are they going to do? You know, in a lot of circumstances, they murder a potential witness. For sure, it inhibits communication, because you don't want to talk to somebody at all if you think they're an informant, because they can be, now when you talk to them, you know, on the phone, in person, they can be wearing a wire, they can be being followed. What it does is it just makes it that much harder for the enemy to operate when you put out this kind of information. And I think it's really clear now that they've been doing that a lot. Q has been doing that a lot, setting these guys up so they don't know who to trust. Just part of the equation we need to figure in. There is so much going on right now. We've got Huber. We've got Durham. I think that Barr has investigations going inside the DOJ and FBI. The Ukraine, I think, is going to be huge. There's a reason that they were so panicked about Ukraine. Ukraine was a 100% deep state operation, start to finish. Putin was never going to invade. They made it look like it was Putin. It was really the deep state taking over a deep state player in the Ukraine, to then basically rape both countries. All the aid that's coming in, this is 100% setup. is being redistributed through all of their money laundering techniques, through however they're going to do it, through payments, through employment, through donations to foundations. Lindsey Graham is in big trouble. Lindsey Graham is smack dab in the middle of what's going on in Ukraine. You know, him and McCain were like this, and McCain. Well, both Graham and McCain were in the Ukraine a lot. So I think Lindsey's got a lot of problems that he's going to have to answer for. I know he's been kind of on the Trump train since McCain died. I think McCain had something on him. I think McCain has video of Graham. And that's how he got him to play along. But the bottom line is the Ukraine's going to crush him. So you got, and I think there's 6 investigations going on in the Ukraine right now. In fact, OAN, that new outlet, news outlet, internet, they went over and interviewed the prosecutor, Yuri Lutsenko, the guy that they wanted axed. Well, they went and interviewed him. They're done. These guys are so screwed. You know, they tried to make this guy out to be a criminal. Their whole thing was, their argument is, well, he had to be removed because he was dirty. Really? He had to be removed because he was clean going after Biden's dirty son. And Biden's going to be right in the middle of this too, because Biden got money out of this thing. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Romney's kid, Pelosi's kid, they're all tied in. I think Schiff is tied in. They're going to hang for this. So don't be discouraged by Horowitz. And somebody else just said, and Barr, listen, Barr knows what's going on. Barr's not going to, Barr's President Trump is running the show. But at the DOJ, Barr is, and Barr is 100% on board with taking down the deep state. That was, part of the mandate. What do you think they talked about when he interviewed for the job? They were talking about all of this crap that we're talking about, that the swamp is going to drain, that these, and you don't swim in that pool, Washington, without knowing how bad it is. The insiders have known for years that they've had, satanic pedophilia has run wild in Washington, including in the White House. Bush 41 used to have kids flown in for the weekend. Children. Bush 41, old man Bush. All of this stuff's going to come out, guys. My point is, Barr has known what's gone on. He's on board with President Trump. These guys can do what they want with the minions. It doesn't make any difference because they're not the ones. Horowitz isn't the one calling the shots. Barr and President Trump are calling the shots. Barr is 100% on board with what President Trump is trying to accomplish here and eradicate this evil. It's happening, guys. This doesn't change anything. This doesn't slow anything down. So I'm still looking at big things happening before the end of the year. And we'll see. Uh, central banks pouring $100 billion a month in to keep the illusion propped up of the markets. 100 billion a month. Plus, I just saw something today. The wheels are about ready to, OAN, Paula, you're right. OAN. Shoot. Damn it. Where was I? Damn it. Where was I going? Oh, the markets. 100 billion plus. There's a report that Chase has supposedly hundreds of trillions of dollars in loans out. You can't. That's how they prop this thing up, guys, for the last 10 years. It's taken trillions of dollars. We're going to find out that we're not in debt for 20 trillion or 40 trillion or 60 trillion or even 100 trillion. The U.S. debt, I'm going to guarantee it's every bit of 250 trillion, and it could be over 500 trillion. These guys have been stealing this thing blind since Clinton, probably Bush 41 even. But it's gotten progressively worse, right? As we get closer to the end, they became more and more blatant about it because we're almost here. Hillary's coming in next. She's going to take care of it. Don't worry. No worries. Steal as much as you can. They never thought she would lose. They had a fixed election. They didn't care that Trump was packing in, and they were arrogant about it. Hillary was arrogant, laughing off, not campaigning. Why should I campaign? I've already got the votes. It's already rigged. They didn't rig it good enough. And now they're screwed. Because they never bothered to cover their tracks. That's why they're so scared. They didn't even bother to cover their tracks. All of this stuff is bubbling up on the surface. I mean, just go scoop it up. The evidence is overwhelming. None of these people are going to escape justice. None of them. Not a single person. And that's why we're seeing the panic. That's why they're making all of these stupid mistakes. Because they're not really mistakes. They know that these are trick plays. They've got nothing to lose. They're going to get executed if something doesn't happen. They're going to go on trial for treason and murder, most of them. They're going to take all the shots they can because what's the worst that can happen? You can only execute them once. So what's the difference if they tack on 5 more crimes to try and drag this thing out, or hope that somehow the impeachment goes, which it's not, or they get lucky and somehow take him out, which isn't going to happen, guys. You can't beat God. God is in this game now. You know, if it was just President Trump, I'd be on the edge of my seat. I'm not the least bit concerned about what's going on. The least bit. I'm not concerned about the swamp being taken down. I'm not concerned about the pedophilia being exposed. I'm not concerned about President Trump's security. This is going better than I could have ever hoped. I could not write a better script. It plays out just like you think something like today happens. It's not great, and then you find out the next day that, oh shit, it's worked out pretty good. This is where we're at, guys. It's working out pretty good. You know, we're not going to really accept it until we see Hillary or Obama in cuffs. You know, I'd take Bill. I mean, the thing is, once they start arresting, once Comey, Brennan, or Clapper gets arrested, it's over. You know, it might take a couple more months to get to Hillary and Bill and Obama, but they're coming. Because once they take out those guys, you know they're talking like crazy. They may be talking already. Because they know what's coming. They know what they did. They know what the repercussions are. They know what's coming. So they will do anything to ease their personal suffering. And they're going to give it away for practically nothing because they're not giving away much. They're not going to let someone who's guilty of a capital crime off the hook. If you're guilty of a capital crime, you're going to go down for that capital crime, which means you're going to be executed. You know, the people that are a level or two down, that maybe don't have a capital crime but got something else, those are the ones they're going to exploit. And the thing is, they don't even really need anybody. They've been on this. Well, they've been on it before President Trump was even announced as a candidate. General Flynn and the White Hats have been working on this since the Second World War. Since the deep state started, we've had the White Hats working against them, seeing the treason that was ongoing and working throughout this past 60 years to counteract it. That's where Q came from. I mean, they're the ones who recruited. The story is that, way before he announced, that White Hats went to talk to President Trump and laid it out for him, what the whole deal was. And that there was two options, basically. Option one was that he ran and you know, he wins the election and then we clean this mess up. Everything's good. Or plan B, Hillary wins the election. We throw a military coup and arrest her. But the problem with plan B is, although we would, by now, I think we'd have been through with it. We'd have been through this already. But millions of Americans would have died because it was going to get bloody if it went that route. If they had to throw a coup to keep Hillary out of office, you know, it was too raw at that time. There were still too many people who are good people, just misled, who would have probably been on the wrong side of this thing. And that would have made it even more dangerous because then it's more of a, at least numbers-wise, it would have been crushing militarily because we would have had the militias and the military and 100 million other patriots with 500 million guns and 1 billion rounds of ammo and air support against a bunch of liberals. You know, Antifa losers coming out of their mother's basements. How long do you think that would have lasted? But millions, I think millions would have died. It would have been horrific. So this went the best way it could have gone. And nothing's changed that, guys. We're still on track. So no worries here. Okay. Let's see what else I got here. Oh, then turns out the Afghan war was a total, complete con job. There was absolutely zero reason to have troops in Afghanistan. You know why we're there? The heroin trade. The Bush CIA cabal has run on heroin since the Vietnam War. I think that's why we're in Vietnam. And what do they do with it? They destroy the inner cities with this crap. People are going to be sickened. And it's not an accident. It was planned. And then they get to keep all the money. The Bushes, they got to be worth trillions. Bush Sr. been doing this since the Second World War. So we got that going. This doesn't end well for them. They're absolutely 100% going down. I say, it starts before the end of the year. We'll see. Okay, let's what do we got for questions? Oh, before I forget. So I was able to get a hold of Scott today, and I think what's going to happen is I'm going to learn how to upload these videos, and then I'm going to work with Chad, and we are way behind. We could easily spend 8 hours a day, I think, for the next month, getting the videos caught up. In other words, the ones we have that haven't been uploaded yet to the website. And we really want to get on this because with what's going on in social media, we don't want to lose this content. And we want to have it outside social media so that it's available to use if everything else goes down. So anybody who's got some time, if it's a couple hours, certainly. Yeah, here we go again. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, so, nothing's changed with the FISA documents. Listen, you can't, the facts are the facts. The FISA documents, there's treason there. This was clear cut. And, Horowitz is, I think, more covering his ass by saying he didn't find it. I'm going to tell you something. Durham's going to find it. Barr's going to find it. It's there. You don't have to look very hard. I could find it. If they gave me a couple of days with the documents, I'd have enough to convict him. Yeah. Horowitz. I mean, again, Obama appointed him. Jerry posted an interesting clip with Lindsey Graham. What was that? Which one was that? Yeah, like I said, guys, don't worry about it. It's all good. Yeah, and you've got, here we go. bar in Durham. Listen, Durham, he's no deep state plant. Trust me. I want to see him testify. I want to see his report. Yeah, Ukraine is a cesspool of corruption. That's why they wanted to be there. Yeah, Fox is compromised, guys, for sure. Carolyn, how you doing? Mike? Yeah, Lindsay's shaking in his boots because Lindsay knows that it's just a matter of time before everything's exposed in the Ukraine. Joan, how you doing? Uh, Tucker, I like him. I just think he's too soft. You know, I would give me a couple of those interviews. Let me interview a couple of these guys. They should be tearing them apart. And the same thing with Ingram. She's way too soft. They want to be polite. Um, Listen, these animals have been trying to take down our country from the inside. There is no worse traitor. We can't afford to be nice, pleasant. Every single person in this country should be irate, should be screaming bloody murder. And this is just the treason part of it. What about the kids? My God. That's why they're pissing their pants, because they know it's all about ready to come out. There's going to be no place on earth they can hide. Wait a minute. CoinDesk? Is that another exchange, Jerry? You're not talking about... Yeah, guys, I was just on today with a couple of different people, actually, buying silver and Litecoin. And, um, everybody has to kind of figure this out based on their own situation. Generally, what I tell people is, buy your Litecoin at Coinbase, buy your Ledger from Ledger, get your coins out as soon as you can. Now, if things are tight, I don't think it hurts to leave your coin. Like I've got, I think 75 or 80 coins still in Coinbase. Now I can transfer them out in 2 minutes. If I see the market go down 1,000 points, I'm moving them. But right now I want to use it to transfer into my bank account. Sell it, convert it to cash. Cash goes from Coinbase to my bank account. If I do the transfer by 7 in the morning, it's in my account by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Beautiful system. Don't need to keep anything in the bank, but I've got it close enough if I need it. But this thing could go pretty quickly. You want to have that ledger sooner rather than later. I mean, I think they're $41 now, somebody just told me. But $41 can buy, that's almost a Litecoin, right? Right now. If things are tight and you don't have, you say you only have a couple $100, I would hold off on the ledger. I think it's worth that gamble and get it next week. Um, because I think having a Litecoin is more important at this time than having a ledger. That could change quickly, but I realistically, let's just say the economy collapsed tomorrow. I would think that it would be a few weeks at least that Coinbase, worst case scenario, and they might skate through this thing. The problem with an exchange is you don't know because they don't ever buy like say I was going to go and buy 100 Litecoin today, and I sit the money into them. They don't go and buy 100 Litecoin. They maybe go buy 10 or 15. That's what happens, just like a bank. So now, if everybody sees the economy collapsing, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to run to their banks to pull their money out. They're going to run to Coinbase and pull their coins out. That could cause problems if you've got your coins in Coinbase, if they get a run on Litecoin. So, if there's no issues for you, get your coins out of Coinbase. Or be prepared to move them in a matter of minutes if things go bad. That means you got to have your ledger programmed and ready to go. And you also probably want to transfer a little bit out just to make sure everything's working fine. And be ready. And anybody has any questions about this, that's what I'm here for. Message me. Yeah, this thing is so ready to go. And yeah, it's another economic analyst. These guys just crack me up. They're so ingrained in the way things have gone for the last 40 years. They can't see outside of that. And just their ignorance is astounding. A lot of them still think President Trump is a deep stater. He's working for the cabal. My God, what idiots. Absolutely. 100% is not the case. Why would they, when they had Hillary ready to go, would they bring in a guy who in less than 3 years destroyed everything they've worked for the last 200 to accomplish? Why would they do that? Does that make any sense at all? Why would they just let Hillary come in and run us into the ground? That's what they would have done. That's what they wanted to do. They weren't anticipating Trump. If he was a deep stater, you think they would have fought him as hard? No, they would have put up a little bit of resistance. They would have played the game a little bit. This has been way beyond that. This has been what some people has seen as hatred. It's not hatred, it's fear. They know what's coming if they don't get President Trump out. Simple as that. Yeah, Jerry, are you talking about CoinDesk? Yeah, and JP Morgan is close. They might be as close as Deutsche Bank. It's rumored that they're the ones causing all the problems in the repo markets, which would make sense because I think the same people that own the Federal Reserve own Chase. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's an exchange. Yeah, Owen Schroyer. That was a good one today. Stood up at the beginning of the hearings and called Nadler a traitor and that Trump was innocent. Kevin says Obama will hang himself. I'm up for that. Yeah, I don't care. I listen. If these people want to take themselves out early, save us some money, I'm fine. I'm not so vengeful that I want to see them all executed publicly. Listen, we don't want to go there, guys. We need to be thankful that this is going our way because it wasn't intended to, and for most of my life it hasn't been going our way. So let's appreciate that, and however it gets cleaned up, whether they get executed or whether they suicide themselves, I really don't care. Just get out of the way so we can move forward. Yeah, I kind of agree with that he doesn't have the guts to face it. But I kind of think that the Clintons are the same way. Not so much that they don't have the guts, although whatever. It's more that they're such arrogant monsters. I don't think they'll allow themselves to go through that humiliation and shame. They killed JFK. They killed Bobby. They killed Martin Luther King. They tried to kill Reagan. They've tried to kill President Trump. That's their MO. Anybody that gets in the way doesn't last very long until God put his hand on President Trump and has protected him. Paula thought somebody wearing a white hat. I'm not sure who Paula's talking about there. Talking to Jerry. Well, here's the thing, guys. Paula's talking about how, Afghanistan. This has been going on since the First World War, at least. All have been fabricated. All engineered. First World War, Second World War, Korean War, Vietnam War, every skirmish, every terrorist attack, the deep state has been responsible for. When I tell you guys that the world is going to be a completely different place, just think about the last 200 years with no wars, no terrorist attacks, no school shootings. That's what these people have brought to the game. They've tried to bring fear and dissension into the world. That's going to be removed. When I'm telling you guys that we're headed into man's greatest age, I'm not kidding. And for a lot of different reasons. It's heaven on earth, guys. Going to be amazing. It's going to be unrecognizable to the world we have now. Unrecognizable. Yeah. Yeah, Kevin's talking about big pharma hooking people on pills, and then they turn to heroin. I'm going to give you an example. I had my hip replaced in 2011. went in the surgery, everything's good, get out. When you have a hip today, they get you up and walking like the very next day. Walking, I was feeling great. I don't like to take a lot of pain pills anyway, and I think I only took 2 or 3 after the surgery. From the time, and I got out like 2 days after, I think. Might have been the day after surgery, that next evening. So when I'm getting ready to check out, the doctor's there, and, well, how's the pain? How many pain pills do you think you need? I told him like 10. I figured I might need 1 or 2. I told him, give me 10 just to be sure. Took the prescription to the pharmacy. They gave me 200. Morphine. You don't think they were trying to get me hooked? How, when they're talking about, and this is 2011, so this was a crisis back then. They were talking about prescription drugs and what a problem it was. And when a person tells you they want less and you give them 10 times as much, come on. It was part of the deal, what they were trying to do. Big Pharma, that's the other thing. The medical profession, in 5 years, completely different. They're not going to push half the pills in 5 years they do today. We're going to be much healthier. Cancer is going to be eliminated, eradicated. They got the cure for cancer. Cure for most modern ailments. Completely different. Our judicial system, politics, government, education, all completely different, completely revamped. All the technology, 0-point energy. Think about 0-point energy for a minute. What 0-point energy means is that the people in Africa, in the jungles of Africa, will be able to heat their homes, have lights, have internet. Most importantly, that changes the world overnight. It takes a third world country to a first world country overnight. It changes the world. It ends water shortages. It ends food shortages. How, you ask? What do you do with unlimited energy? You set up desalination plants on the coast of every continent, every 50 miles. And every desert in the world is a garden in a couple of years. We could grow 50 times the food the world needs with 0-point energy. Every problem mankind thinks it has is solved virtually overnight. Not really solved. It's just that all the technologies are finally released. And President Trump's going there. Everything that's been revealed, or been hidden, will be revealed. That's what we're headed for. Heaven on earth, guys. It's going to be awesome. Let's see, am I going the right way here? Yeah, again, Paula? Is that you, Paula? Yeah, Paula. Tomorrow's the 10th, right? So we got all these deadlines, I think. YouTube or Facebook has a deadline. We're going to have to deal with this censorship for a little bit longer. But trust me, when this goes down, when they finally pull the trigger, which I think is days or weeks away, I think President Trump seizes all of the social media and the censorship is ended. That we're going to have a true freedom of expression very soon. Oh, you can bet. Wait till the Republicans. I want to see Jim Jordan and Gates and who's the other one? There's two or three really good ones. They're going to have a field day with Horowitz. Trust me. It's going to be good watching. Mike, how you doing? Yeah. Christine, where have you been? Yeah, if you guys got pensions, some of them you can move into like a physical silver backed retirement, but it depends on your plan, and it's probably half you can and half you can't. So yeah, if you're in a state run program, you're not going to get your money out. Well, that's what you got to do, guys. You got to talk to. With most of them, you have absolutely no control, but there are plans that specialize in precious metals, physical precious metals. You got to make sure it's physical. It's the paper, doesn't make any difference. Well, we're going to have a currency, guys. Gary's saying that physical silver or gold is the answer. Well, yeah, for us, that's the answer right now. We got to have it to protect ourselves. Once a gold backed dollar comes out, we're good because that dollar's backed by something now. They won't be able to print any more money than the gold they have on hand. It's a system we want. So we're headed in the perfect place, guys. And like I say, I think the currency's already ready to go. Oh God, I don't even want to go there with Nadler. Well, no, no, no. Listen, here's the thing, guys. I think Obama might be the Antichrist. I don't. They were going to set him up, I think, as the ruler of the world. They were going to try and make him the first like UN head of the world. When we went down, that's where he was going. You think it's an accident that he's been running around talking to all these countries? This has been the plan since before this guy was in college. They talked about Obama being president, I think, when he was just starting college. You had some of the elite saying, this guy Obama, he's going to be president of the United States someday. And look what happened. A guy who was born in Kenya, who his whole history has been fabricated. That's when I knew something was up with him. Because there was too much stuff when he was running that didn't make sense. That wait a minute, there's big holes in this guy's story. And then the reporters are just giving him a free pass. I saw what they did to Gary Hart. you know, and other people in the election, even kind of Clinton, they came on pretty hard. They let Obama off with nothing, not even a second question. You knew he was on the inside for sure. Justice is coming. It's not coming as quickly as we like, but that's okay, guys. It's coming. They didn't want, then here's the thing, guys. They didn't want to kill all of us. They needed some of us. They had to have their food source, their adrenochrome. That's why 500,000 were going to be left. They needed a breeding program. And wait till you find out about the aliens. Yeah. Um, there's a lot of rumor and speculation that a lot of these elites have got alien blood in them, and some of these aliens, um, we're considered food for them. So let that sink in for a little bit. Radcliffe, there you go. Radcliffe's been doing a good job. Thank you, Paula. Social Security's. Here's the thing, guys. I'm going to get my first Social Security retirement check next month. Maybe. And you know what? I'll be okay. If between now and the time I get my first check, this thing all blows up, I'm fine with that. But it's going down, guys. Everything. Retirement accounts, everything's going. Yeah, listen. There's a lot of potential subjects for the Antichrist. The Pope is one, Obama's one, whatever. It doesn't make any difference. Whoever it is, they're going down. Yeah, Obama is about as evil as they come. Prince William is another one. Yep, Kathleen. Yeah, the thing is, guys, we're all going to see this play out in the next year or less, at least the main parts of it. I mean, this is going to go on for a couple of years. Um, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You know what I think? I think we need to be prepared for the worst and hope for the best. And I think we're going to get the best. I think President Trump has been ahead of the game at every turn. Look at his performance from before the election to today. I have been blown away by what he's accomplished. I never thought in a million years he could, keep this horrendous economy chugging to buy him some time. And that's what this was all about. That's the whole thing about the timing of this thing. They're talking about, when they gave up General Flynn and they took down General Flynn, and the strategy behind that, and they knew what the deep state was trying to do, right? NSA, military intelligence, President Trump. But here's the thing. They didn't want an early confrontation. This was all about, on the White Hat side, they had to stall out for a couple of years to put themselves in a position where the military was built up. We all could get in position to be ready, and that they had enough white hats in the right spots, because there were way too many black hats in high positions when President Trump first took office. You saw what happened with Sally Yates. Basically told the president to screw off when she got an order, right? To pursue a certain legal strategy. That was happening throughout the government on virtually every level. So they needed to drag this thing out for a while, all the while making it look like they're trying to push through, but really they were happy to have these people backed off a little bit because they were thinking, oh, we're getting to them. So let's let it take its course. Well, that's what they wanted. They wanted to take its course for a couple of years before there was ever a battle. We're coming to the battle now. We're in it. What'd they say? You know, that movie poster now playing. It's on, guys. I really believe it's on. Okay, that's all the questions for tonight, guys. Remember, be positive. Use whatever time we have left. This is, I know I sound like a broken record. This economy gets worse every single day. Something else around the world blows up. If this goes on too much longer, President Trump's not going to have to take it down. The deep state's not going to have to take it down. Deutsche Bank, well, could take it down. This is going to happen on its own if they don't do something quick, because it's limping along right now. It's hard to believe it's still moving forward because it's unbelievable. The only thing that's keeping this thing going is throwing billions of dollars at it to keep it propped up. And the problem is, they've been doing that for 10 years, so every week it takes more to keep it going. They're to the point where either we're going to have hyperinflation or they're just going to have to quit. It's over. It's going to be over. So this could go down any day. Don't wait on your Litecoin. Don't wait on your silver. Don't wait on your prepping. Don't wait on your phone calls. Okay, guys. That's it, right? No more questions? Oh, wait a minute. Did I miss some? Big green light over Phoenix last night. Didn't hear about that. I'll check into that. All right. I think that's it. Okay, guys. Remember, fear not. God and President Trump are 1,000% in control. We'll see you tomorrow night at 5. God bless.